Shocking stories of abuse straight from the 16-year-old boy who says he endured it for years. Good evening. I'm Jessica Shambach.
I'm Paul Folger. John and Sonia Kluth went before a judge in El Reno. That judge heard enough. He says there is enough evidence the couple abused their 3 adoptive children. So now they're going to trial. Eyewitness News 5's Brandon Byer is live in El Reno with the big story. Brandon.
Paul and Jessica, that 16-year-old boy, one of 3 adopted children, testified in court today. Just upstairs in that courtroom, he told a judge that he and his 2 siblings were beaten, starved, and locked in cages meant for dogs. After years of abuse in this home, a 16-year-old boy told a judge today last December he'd had enough. Late one evening on a 26-degree night, he ran away from home. After again not being fed dinner, he testified he crawled out of this shelter and started running toward Oklahoma City. Eyewitness News 5 is taking you closer than anyone else to the misery these children were living in. Our investigation months ago revealed a terrifying scene. The children told authorities they spent months at a time locked in this shelter inside these cages and at times eating nothing but dog food. The teenager told the judge he'd not been to school in 4 years, hadn't been allowed to leave the house since last June, and for hours the allegations of abuse went on. At times they were difficult to hear. The boy said his mother would use pliers and a clothespin to pinch his penis when he would leak his pants. The Kluths tried hard to avoid our cameras today and had very little to say when we found them.
Did you really use a plier on his penis?
No.
So he's making this up?
No comment.
He's making this up?
No comment.
You good parents?
Paul and Jessica, I can tell you all 3 children are safe tonight with foster families in undisclosed locations. I did speak briefly with one of the social workers, one of the many social workers that is working this case, and that person said these children are making progress, but they still have a long road ahead of them. Live in Canadian County, Brandon Byer, Eyewitness News 5.
Okay, Brandon. John and Sonia Kluth each face 6 counts of child abuse, and they go back to court for a formal arraignment in August. Now, the Kluths made thousands of dollars to care for the kids, all while this alleged abuse was happening.
They got $54,000 a year in adoption subsidies from the state of Wisconsin, even after they moved here. Now, earlier this year, I showed you inside their Yukon home. I investigated why no one is required to make sure families use money for the children's well-being. The federal government shells out nearly $2.5 billion for adoption assistance, and Oklahoma got almost $31 million this year. But federal law does not require states to check in on children once they've been adopted, and that has the sheriff who investigated the Kluths calling for change.
I think there ought to be checks and balances going on, especially where they're receiving payments like the Kluths were. They ought to be periodically looked in on and checked on.
Now, I took these concerns to Senator Jim Inhofe. He's the co-chair of the Senate Adoption Caucus. He sent me this statement today. It is up to states to ensure that children are placed in safe, trustworthy homes. Oversight is best performed at the local level. And of course, we will continue to follow this case very closely. And you can also get updates and sign up for breaking news alerts on our website, KOCO.com.
Once upon a time, there was a girl. In her early years, she had to learn how to grow up, living in a world that she called home. Never knew just where to turn for shelter from the storm. It hurt me to see the pain across my mother's face. Every time my father's fist would put her in her place. Hearing all the yelling, I would cry.
together. Hey, hey, yes I am. Trouble don't last always. I'm so glad. Hey, yes I am. Trouble don't last always. Can I get a witness? I'm so glad. Hey, 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 hey. Trouble don't last always. Listen, may not come when you want it, but he's on time. Hey. In times of trouble, found him to be a friend of mine. In time, storm cloud night, he'll be there. All your burdens, I know the Lord help you to bear. I'm so glad. Come on, put your hands together and everything. Trouble don't last. Why don't you help the choir say, I'm so glad. No. Trouble don't last always. Listen, may not come when you want him,